Hey Bernice. Hey Mindy. Hi Barbara. Hi Eleanor. Hi everyone. Hi Annie. Hi everybody. Welcome to our weekly live demo. I'll go ahead and start with the date. And as usual, if you have a question that you think I might be able to help you with, go ahead and tap on the little question mark bubble that's somewhere here. For me, it's right there. Go ahead and click on that button and type in your question, and I will answer questions. I'll try to answer them in order, and I will do my best. Hi, Gretchen. So I'll go ahead and start with the date, and then we'll start the demo while we wait for others to join. Hi, everybody. Hi, Mo. Hi, Aaliyah. Hey, Nadia. Okay, I'm going to write the date. Oops. Okay, today is March 23. Okay. And we are on demo 233. Really odd threes. Okay, we're going to start the demo with our italic bug challenge. And today we're going to do B and P. And let's see what questions you have. I know there were tons of questions last week that I didn't get to, so if anybody remembers what those are, we can try to tackle those. Hi, everybody. Hi, Karina. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Okay, let's see. We have Spencerian loop letters. I do recall that one. Okay, let's add that to the questions. Is there a particular thing about the loop letters, or is there maybe one loop letter that you want to learn, or you just want me to demonstrate about the loop? Hi, everybody. Okay, we have spacing and fraktur. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, I'm pretty sure that's enough questions. Those are all really great questions. Okay, so let's start with the italic bug. For those of you just joining in, and we are doing our, I don't even know what number challenge this is, but anyway, we are filling out our italic well, I was calling it a passport when we were doing no lift magic schools, but I guess this is just, I don't even know what this is, but it's a little zine, a little piece of paper that we folded up. The video is still up on how to fold this if you're curious. It's just a sheet of paper with a cut at the center, and you just fold it up. So that video is still up, and slowly we have been filling up this little booklet with some basic concepts and then some letters, and I started to make them a little bit thicker because I don't know, your examples look much better than mine, so I think I need to fix some of these by making them thicker. That's my little secret. So today we're going to add to this group, we are going to add the letters B and P, and if you take that last group that we did, the A, D, G, and Q, and you turn it upside down, ta-da, you get a B, just minus that serif, and you get the P. So this group should be easy because we've already done it. We're just turning that upside down. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom in. And we're going to start, as always, by labeling our lines. Okay. So on the bottom line, we have this red line here. That's going to be our baseline. And I'm using copperplate guidelines here. So I've got all these lines, and I'm going to skip this middle line. I mean, I'll keep it, but we're going to skip that middle line and hop on over to the next one above the baseline. And this is going to be our waistline. So the space between the waistline and the baseline is our X height. So the body of our letters is going to be this tall. And this line up here is going to be our ascender line. And one space below the baseline, this is going to be our descender line. So the ratio of the body of the letter to the ascender and descender is different from that of maybe standard copperplate or spin serial. And this orange line here, I've been calling this M, or the middle line. It's the middle line between the baseline and the waistline, or it could also be called the branching line. All right, so last week we learned about the A, and we couldn't really learn the A without doing the O and the C. So hopefully you're all caught up with that. So we have an A. Well, actually, first off, we have been placing our letters inside this rectangle, which is essentially two squares on top of each other. When am I announcing my copperplate bootcamp? I don't want to miss it either. Good grief. I don't know. I have no idea. It will probably be in June. I had some issues with this current bootcamp with the signups, and so I need to figure out a better way to sell the tickets first, because I don't think I can use Eventbrite if I'm going to have the same problems as I did this last time. So I need some time to do that. But probably I'm aiming for June. Yeah. I don't want to miss it either, so don't worry. I'll try to announce it ahead of time. Okay, so we've got the A. And my friend Tinkara pointed out that the C and the O share the same strokes, right? So last week we did this part of the C, which was a horizontal line, and this part of the O, which is the top left part of the ellipse. And then we did this bottom part, as the bottom turn of the letter U, and then also the stem of the U. So the A had a part of the C, and this is part of the O, but also part of the C, but we're just going to label this curved part of the O. And this bottom part is part of the U. And that's something I learned from Sheila Waters. I don't know why my phone does that. I don't know how to undo that. Okay. So if we take our A and we turn it upside down, actually let me draw this again. If we take our A, and I'm going to actually just turn my paper upside down. Okay, so here's an A. And it's connecting, this curve is joining the stem stroke here at the middle line. So here is the A, and last week if we added or we extended this vertical stroke below the baseline like this, we would get a Q, right? And then our Q had a little serif at the bottom. Okay, if we turn that over, our Q becomes the B. So these letters are easy in the sense that we've already done them. Okay, so let's do the B. Okay. I think I need to move over here. Sorry guys, I don't know why my camera keeps shifting and I don't quite know how to fix it. Okay, so for the B, we're going to start with our stem stroke at the ascender line, and we're going to pull down a straight stroke from the ascender line down to the base line. And then we're going to retrace, go up, retrace half of this or a third of this stem, and then we're going to branch out at the midline. Going to have whatever shoulder you've been using all this time. Then you're going to come down straight, and then we're going to curve like our O. And then since this is just a handwriting, we're just going to push a horizontal stroke to close the B. There's a different ductus when you're using a broad pen, but okay, so that's the B. Next, we have a P, and a P is essentially an upside down D. So here are the letters that we did last week, A and D. And if you turn that D upside down, you get a P. Okay. All right. So to do the P, we are going to start with our stem stroke. We're going to start at the waistline. We're going to pull down a vertical stroke all the way down to the descender line. And for this part, you can either lift your pen or keep your pen on the paper and retrace up to this waistline, or you can lift your pen and come just a little bit below the midline and retrace up just like the B. You're going to branch out and you're going to come down straight, curve like the O, and this bottom part like a C. I think I'm a little bit too straight here, but and those are the two letters that we're going to add. Hi everybody, welcome. Hey, Andrew. Hi, Maria. Hi, Helen. Hi, everyone. Hi, Rashmi. Hi, Apurva. Hi, everybody. We have a few more questions, but I'll read them. I just won't be able to do them. And Mindy says she ran out of booklet papers. I guess she'll just have to make another one and bind them together or something. Yes, make a new one. What is the difference between ornamental penmanship and Spencerian? We have, which paper am I using? Right now I'm using Borden and Riley number 37 Boris layout. And maybe next week we could talk about, because I've already collected my questions for the day. I just took the first two. Hopefully next week we can answer these other questions about structure of foundational hand and the difference between ornamental penmanship and Spencerian. That's a really good one. All right, so next question is loop letters. If you recall from several sessions ago, there are essentially 3 basic strokes in Spencerian. And they come in different orientations, I guess. But the 3 main ones is a left curve, which you can derive from the left side of the oval. And then you have your right curve. And if you join the top and bottom parts of this oval, you get your straight line. So these are the basic strokes. You have your straight line, which is almost always at 52 degrees. You have your right curve. And you have your left curve. So those are the 3 main strokes. Just like in any script, you have lines on your paper that we need to acknowledge. So this first one here is the baseline. Just above that is our waistline or header line. Then we have 2 ascender lines. The first ascender line and second ascender line, and the space between the waistline and the baseline is our X height. Okay, maybe I should do these in different colors. So I'm going to do the straight line in red. I'm going to do the right curve in purple and the left curve in blue. Now it's important to note that these left and right curves could be either upright or at a 30-degree angle or at 0 degrees. So for instance, this left curve here, so this is a left curve, and this left curve is at 30 degrees. If you drew a line intersecting the end point and the beginning point, you get a 30-degree angle. But it could also be at this angle. So if you put that against a straight line, this would be at 52 degrees. Or it could be, at this angle, 0 degrees. So these are all variations of a left curve. So they can be shorter, they could be longer, they can be at different angles. Okay, so the loop, you could think of the loop as a right curve. So here's your right curve. And instead of stopping, you're going to begin it at the baseline and you're going to come up to the waistline. But instead of stopping here on the waistline, you're going to continue up until you reach the asunder line. So here, you're just going to continue this stroke up. And then you're going to begin to turn towards the left as you reach that asunder line. So it kind of hooks here. Okay, and then we're going to come down. We're going to descend now. But as we descend, we're not going to descend straight down because this would be a straight descent down to the baseline. So we don't want that. We need to add a little bit of a curve here. So beginning from the baseline, we're going to draw a nice long wide curve. We're going to hook up at the top because we're changing direction. And here we're going to add a slight bend. So this part is nearly all curve. It's not a straight line like this. And as you near the waistline, you're going to straighten yourself out into a straight stroke. So there's some kind of transition, from a left curve to a straight line about here. So your loop begins at the baseline, nice wide right curve, hook at the top, gentle curve, straighten yourself out, straight. So this could be letters like H. And another important thing to note is the width of this loop is half of the width of this space here. So if this H, the width, but the distance between this straight line and this straight line, if that is one space or one unit, the width of your loop at the widest parts is half of that. So if you have see. Okay. If you have a wide H, then you have a wide loop. If you have a narrow H, then you'll need a narrow loop. Yes, we're still adjusting to daylight saving. I'm not used to it yet. I feel like I have jet lag. I'm so glad it's helpful. Hi, Maxie. Hi, David. Hi, Ekta. Hi, Abjit. Hi, Benny. Hi, Rita. Good to see you. All right. We have 3 minutes to talk about fraktur. this is like a Mission Impossible scene, right? Where Tom Cruise has 30 seconds to save the hostage and, I don't know, detonate a bomb and jump off a helicopter. I don't know. Haven't watched any of those movies. But anyway, okay, let's try. The thing about spacing in Fraktur is I'm a little tongue-tied. It depends on what kind of Fraktur you're doing. It depends on how blocky it is. It depends on how much curve it has. It depends on how light or heavy it is. Probably the best way to explain spacing in Fraktur is to talk about texture, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Let's try. Okay, so I'm using a 3.0 Pilot Parallel pen, and I haven't used these ones in a while, so let's see if they're... Oh, okay, it's working. All right, so how do I explain this? Usually I explain this I explain this with already... I explain this to students who already have some background in texture, because when I teach Fraktur, I teach texture first. So I almost feel like I need to teach texture spacing instead, and maybe you'll be able to understand spacing of Fraktur. But anyway, I don't think we have 4 hours, so let's see what I can do in a minute. So everything depends on the weight of your letters. And you can start with measurable weight. So I'm just going to draw a pen scale here. And I have a lot. I think there are 8 here. So if I'm going to just write maybe some texture letters. Okay, here's 3 pen widths. If I wrote textura, I'm using the same pen for all. This is 3. This is textura at 4. Okay. Textura at 5. I think this is 5. You'll probably notice that the letter begins to look a little lighter. It looks really chunky when it's small. And the bigger or the taller you write, assuming that you're staying in, some kind of proportion inside, your letter will get lighter. As in, the proportion of the white space inside and around the N gets larger compared to the black space. So it's the stroke ratio to counter space ratio begins to lighten up. And this counter space ratio inside determines the spacing that should be outside between letters. So if you have really narrow spacing, I don't know, if it's really narrow inside of here, then the letter next to it will also be tight. Okay? If you're spacing inside, I'd have to actually see your Fraktur to help you well. But if your textura is wide inside, then you also need more space outside. Because the idea is you are trying to maintain a picket fence look. Let me see. Oops. Oh. Okay. If you cover the top, I think my ink is still wet. Hold on. If you cover the top and you cover the bottom, ideally the spacing is, even. You get that? It's like a picket fence, right? So that's the idea behind the spacing. And with Fraktur, you will have some curves, but you need to keep in mind that kind of spacing. And in some cases, you'll have to either bring letters closer or further apart. And the thing with Gothic scripts is there are a lot of ligatures. And yeah, let me see if I could show you an example. Okay. Fraktur, if you have, I feel like I forgot how to write already. Okay, if you have a Fraktur N, okay, and you have another letter that's straight, I guess. Okay. And you have a letter. Again, it all depends on which kind of Fraktur you're doing. This is really not easy to explain. This is not a good example. Let's see if I could find a better one. Okay. So here, I think it's pretty easy to gauge the spacing between letters, but it's when you have, some Fraktur letters are quite round. So I can't prescribe to you the same rule, and some Fraktur O will look like this. Some will look like that. I mean, they're all different shapes. But anyway, if you have a V that, I think I'm not even on the scale anymore. If you have a V that is rounded, for instance, this could be a Fraktur V, and you have an O right next to it, it might form an awkward spacing. So sometimes you would fuse two or more letters together into a ligature, into one structure. So this would be a V and an O. And sometimes some letter, when you fuse two letters like this together, it looks too much like other letters. For instance, this might be a W. Just writing it very quickly. So this is a W, and to distinguish a W from a VO, usually we put a little mark in the middle to indicate that this is not a ligature, but an independent letter. I don't know if that's useful or not. I think the best way to help you with spacing is to just use your eye. You have to rely on optical spacing, and just keep in mind that the space within your letter dictates how much space you can have between letters, more or less. So this needs to be about the same as that space. And when you start introducing curves, it gets a little bit more complicated. But hopefully this is a good place to start. All right, everybody, we covered a wide range of topics today. We did italic B and P. We learned a little bit about the Spencerian loop and a little bit about, I guess, Gothic spacing. Okay, everybody, thank you. Have a great rest of the day. And if you're in the Spencerian class, hang on. I've got stuff to email you tomorrow. So, all right, everyone, thank you for your questions and thank you for watching. And if I didn't get to answer your question today, I'll do my best to answer it next week. I try to take them in as they come in. So I guess first come, first serve kind of deal. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Good luck. Bye. Thank you, Sharon. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. Bye, Maria. Bye, everybody.